for sure.
Get stab me with a spoon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
my God.
Look at me, over. Yeah, that's very good. That squeak you have.
Oh, no, now it's going to become my fist today.
What's right? Do the whole news like that.
Oh, that'll be fire. You'll have a new news person tomorrow.
Today, you know.
Oh, my God. For sure. I totally. God, we would assume.
You know, a new way to entertain John. No guys do this. More coming up. John and Ken, Deborah Marquez News. Kfi Am 640.
More informing, more engaging, more stimulating. KFI.
KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Fishing Funk. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The recent oil spill off the coast of Orange County is still having an impact on the commercial fishing industry.
12 subcommittees have held a hearing in Irvine on the oil spill. Commercial fisherman Scott Brenneman had testified that when the spill was initially announced, his fish market in Newport Beach saw a 90% drop in sales, and that his business was still down significantly.
In the 90s, my dad went through the oil spill that was off Seal Beach in our fish market. The same exact response from the public. Scared, worried that product's contaminated.
He says part of the problem is that customers don't realize a lot of its product comes from 90 miles offshore. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Attorneys for L.A. County want Kobe Bryant's widow to get a psychiatric evaluation.
Vanessa Bryant sued the county for emotional distress, negligence, and invasion of privacy over photos taken by sheriff's deputies at the site of Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash. The attorneys say they want the mental evaluation because they want to make sure the emotional distress was caused by the photos and not the death of her husband and daughter. The photos were never leaked to the public, and the deputies involved were disciplined. Bryant's attorney says the county's request is an attempt to bully Bryant and others into abandoning their pursuit of accountability. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
California's Attorney General has met with local and community leaders in San Diego to talk about fighting hate.
Hate, unfortunately, is nothing new in this state, in this nation.
Attorney General Rob Bonta says communities are joining together to push back.
We're going to work with our local law enforcement to identify best practices, to identify and investigate hate crimes. We're going to encourage our DAs across the state to have a special hate crimes unit.
Bonta is on a 13-city tour to talk with local leaders about fighting against what he calls the forces of hate. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell has died. His family says the cause was complications from COVID-19, even though he was fully vaccinated. But Powell also had blood cancer. At least one study has found multiple myeloma makes the vaccine less effective. Powell was a 4-star general in the Army and was the first African-American Secretary of State. He served under President George W. Bush from 2001 to 2005. Powell was 84.
I feel as if I have a hole in my heart.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, the first black man to hold that job, says Powell was his mentor for many years.
He always made time for me, and I could always go to him with tough issues. He always had great counsel.
And educators from around the country have been invited to the White House for the National Teachers of the Year Awards. 2020 National Teacher of the Year, Tabitha Rothroy from Kansas, says it's been a hard year for teachers.
I've seen educators show up on the front lines of this pandemic, reshaping content delivery and rallying their communities to support students in virtual learning when there were glaring needs to be met.
President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden held a ceremony for the teachers on the South Lawn to honor the winners from this year and last year. We have a crash on the 5 in Elysian Park.
This one is along the southbound side. It is at the south side at the 110 South Connector. That transition is off limits currently due to this wreck, and delays are loading up all the way from Los Feliz Boulevard. We've got Mike O'Brien taking a look at Santa Monica. KFI in the Sky, sponsored by Injury Attorney, SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com.
Eastbound side of the 10, you're jamming up there just out of Santa Monica, starting at the 405. From the 405 through Mid-City into downtown Los Angeles, we're about to loosen up a bit. We'll be back on the break from City Terrace. Much of that stretch on and off into West Coast. It is like totally slow here. The 405 north-south jamming up, and there's a little problem running at Sunset Boulevard, but it's essentially adding to slowing, leaving the 10 all the way up to Roscoe. Injured in an accident, visit SuperwomanSuperLawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
Rancho Cucamonga, 210 East before Archibald, carpool and left lane blocked due to a wreck, slowing you down from baseline. KFI in the sky, helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
Staying cool, that's next.
All right, in your home, you should have the cleanest, freshest, most delicious water. You can get it with a LifeSource whole house water system. I know because we had one installed about a year and a half ago, and now the water tastes great. We're buying far less bottled water. Everybody's refilling glasses and jugs of water. A LifeSource whole house system is maintenance free. That's the best part. Once they install it, you never have to think of it ever again. No salt bags, filter changes, monthly exchange tanks, whatever nonsense with other water services. No. And if hard water is a big problem, this system can reduce hard water, get rid of the odor and taste of chlorine, no salt or chemicals, and without the chlorine, your skin, hair is softer, not dried out every time you take a bath and shower. Call LifeSource today for full service, full confidence in your water. Call 800-334-5009, 800-334-5009, LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource Water, taste and feel the difference.
Mass Mutual knows that your finances can be an uncomfortable conversation.
Mark, we should really talk about our money.
Yep, we really should.
Like, we never talk about our savings.
No, we never talk about that. Or our assets.
Or our debt.
Yeah, we really should talk about that.
We need one of those financial plans.
One of those will make a difference.
We should talk about it.
We really should.
Talk to us about financial wellness today. Feel comfortable about tomorrow. Mass Mutual. Live Mutual.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow closed down 36. S&P 500 up 15. Nasdaq up 124. And the average price of a gallon of regular gas in California is $4.49.
With a range of commercial fire and security solutions, Bay Alarm can protect it all with just one call.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow. High around 70 for Metro LA. Mid 60s to low 70s in the valleys. Upper 60s to low 70s for Indonesia and the IE. Right now it's 63 in Seal Beach, 66 Costa Mesa, 64 North Hollywood, and 62 in Santa Monica. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Marks.
Johnny Kent Show, John Kovac and Ken Campo, KFI, AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, welcome in. Another hour of this. This will be the last hour today. In about 15 minutes, we have a shot at some money, this cash contest. It's back on KFI with that keyword to text. You gotta, as Newsom would say, lean in and get that word, right? Period, full stop.
Did you see one of his spokesholders issued a statement today? I think it was over the vaccine and the kids. And used the phrase full stop in it.
Oh, no.
Even in staff.
Period, full stop, or just full stop?
Full stop.
Well, apparently a couple of thousand people showed up at the Capitol in Sacramento. And the message that they're sending is, I'm not against vaccines, I'm against mandates. Okay? There's a funny poster one of them was carrying of like a crazed-looking, maybe a doctor or somebody, with a needle taking out a little kid. I should have been on the run. I don't think it was a kid, it was a larger than that. Basically said, my body, my choice, something like that. It's just looking, the doctor looks crazed, holding out this, ready to jab whoever he can.
Well, the parents are claiming, and they're correct, is that children very rarely get this, and very rarely have serious symptoms. And there hasn't been any school breakouts of any major size in the country since this whole stupid thing started. So, some of them don't trust because the vaccine has only been around for a year with a new technology. Because everybody calls out the measles, polio, mumps, rubella, all those vaccines people are forced to accept. And they're saying all those have been around for 40, 50, 60 years. This thing has been around a year, and they don't want it because my kid doesn't need it.
The spokeshole said today the state order requires students to vaccinate against a range of viruses, like measles, mumps, and rubella. There's no reason we shouldn't do the same for COVID-19.
Yep.
This is about protecting our children and keeping them in the classroom.
Unless you acknowledge that people should have freedom in this country, and parents should have freedoms to decide what goes into their children's bodies, because it's not the same history as the vaccine from 60 years ago.
Right.
I mean, I understand. There's a lot of pregnant women who don't want to get the vaccine for the same reason. You know, when it comes to children and babies, I think there's a lot of parents who are thinking, well, wait a second. The kids are not suffering from COVID in any great numbers. It is really rare. So what is this about?
Except I read that if you're pregnant and you get COVID, and you may not, but if you do, it's a lot worse for you and the baby if you're unvaccinated.
Oh, sure, it is.
But that's also the case with that symptom that shows up in teenage boys, the myocarditis, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the inflammation of the heart tissue.
Right. Same thing. It's very rare that you're going to get that, but if you are unvaccinated and you get that, and you get COVID, you're much more susceptible.
But, you know, this is, the thing is, this debate is unlike any other debate for any other disease or medical condition, is that everybody's arguing about very rare situations. Of course it could happen, but the odds are overwhelming that it's not going to happen. So that's my judgment, that's my business, that's my child.
Yeah, we got caught up in the death.
And I want, well, there is a certain amount of hysteria here, and I'm wondering if this is like gone too far, too much. Are we going to get to the point where we're going to fire a lot of police officers, firefighters, military guys? We're going to keep children out of school? Because what are you supposed to do? Do that stupid Zoom school? That's a failure. So if your parent doesn't want you vaccinated, now you don't get educated. And a lot of kids didn't get educated for a year and a half anyway because of all the hysteria.
So, like I said, a couple thousand people showed up in the state capitol. We have audio of one parent. I don't know which protest this is from, but it's a mother of four by the name of Andrea Hedstrom. According to a TV station up in Sacramento, there were some absences, but some of the school systems said there was no major spike in absences for staff or students. So let's play what this woman has said about the mandate.
I'm here today because the government does not own my body and the government does not own my children. And medical mandates are fascism, and the government ends at my skin. And the government definitely ends at my children's skin. I have been in the Capitol 200 times. I have spoken in many different kinds of hearings, dozens and dozens of times. And medical freedom is foundational to a free society. We are not lab rats. My children are not.
Yeah, incarcerated. Government ends at my skin. I'll write that one down.
I wonder what percentage of people that feel like this because of the new technology, because that seemed to be implied in the last thing she said, we're not lab rats.
Yeah, no, I think
mRNA is nothing.
There's 100 reasons people have for this, but in general, for not wanting a vaccine. But I imagine that's a common one where people just don't trust. I understand people not trusting because it's the three-headed monster. It's the pharmaceutical industry, the media, and politicians, and government, right? All right. Pretty obvious all three industries have a lot of credibility problems. We could go on for the rest of the year on the credibility issues